Number 12 in Vinegar Syndrome's VSA range is The House of Usher. Edgar Allan Poe's The House of Usher, and this is a kind of modern retelling of that story, and was one that I put on and was extremely wary as this thing started. We're introduced to a young couple, that is Ryan and Molly, as they are getting ready to travel out to their uncle's house and see him. And of course the uncle's Roderick Usher, played by Oliver Reed, in a really kind of weird, campy, fun role. But before we get to them, we meet this couple, and it's very 80s in its aesthetic, which is always a backstep for these kind of gothic horror movies when they're about the real world and out in modern day, and then they're driving to the house. Once you get to the house, you get to settle into that kind of gothic horror atmosphere. But at that off-kilter moment as they were travelling there, I was a little bit worried that this movie wasn't going to be as endearing, as exciting as I thought it was maybe going to be. And it does get a little bit of a bad rap when you look at the reviews online. Once you get to the house, after a car accident where Ryan seemingly dies, Molly is left distraught to discover that Roderick, Oliver Reed, has other ideas for her. He needs his lineage to continue, and he's decided that Molly is going to be his new bride, whether she wants it or not, whether she's grieving or not. And there is even a curious case of, did Roderick kill Ryan after the car crash? Was he really dead already? And it's done really fun and playful. It's got these vibrant colours, it's got these wonderful nightmare sequences, particularly a wedding one where I was positive it was going to be a dream. It's got fog all over the ground, it's got these garish colours and this wonderfully weird cast of characters all standing there watching them as this goes on. There's kind of ghostly apparitions appear throughout the movie. There is the inclusion of the brother almost in the attic, played by Donald Pleasance, who's refined to a wheelchair, who seemingly carries this weird drill device attached to his wrist, which is just bonkers. This movie has lots of bonkers things going on in it. I really do love the look of this movie. It grew on to me. I loved the weirdness of the characters. I loved how every time you were pretty sure it was going to take a right turn, it took a left into something even crazier and more wackier than the movie already was. And logic in this one, it takes a sharp detour very early on. We get rid of that and jump into a story that nothing really particularly makes sense. The ending, the apparitions, what's happened during Molly's time at this house, none of it really makes much sense. But I didn't care, because I loved the atmosphere. I loved the fact that Oliver Reed was just giving 100%. I loved the fact that Donald Pleasance gave 110% in his crazy brother role. I loved the destruction, the action, the gore, everything that went on in this movie. And the more and more it went on, the more I was enamoured by this film. The strange, otherworldly look of the production was weird, yes, but I liked that. I liked that look of the film, how bonkers it actually was. The House of Usher was a surprise. From the way it started to my doubting how good the movie was going to be, into something that really kind of tickled my funny bone, that gave me all these kind of quirky, weird visual elements that I really particularly liked. And even though it has those huge leaps in logic, particularly around Ryan, I just didn't really care. You know, sometimes you get a movie where you can forgive a lot of the wrongs that it has because some of the rights just are too good to ignore. I'd love to know your thoughts on The House of Usher, because I feel that it's a really weird one. I've not really done it justice, but I'd love to know your opinion. Let me know in that comment box below, and I will see you next time on Man v Film.